Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So back in October of 2023, I posted a video asking the question, should Microsoft end support for Windows 10 in 2025? Because in just a couple of months, that date is fast approaching. And I gave you some thoughts, and also, as mentioned in the video, Public Interest Research Group, PRRG, is calling on Microsoft to extend support for the operating system due to all the e-waste landing up in landfills and the dumpster, so to speak. Check the video out for more info. Now, according to a recent post by the Register, dated the 1st of July, I'll leave that linked in the description, Microsoft's latest attempts to so-called ease the transition to Windows 11 for Windows 10 users, according to privacy campaigners, doesn't go far enough, quote unquote. And obviously that's because of the prospect of millions of PCs going to the landfill. Now, recently, as I posted, Microsoft confirmed that it would make the first year of the extended security updates, also known as the ESU program, free under a couple of different circumstances. Now, just a quick recap. To qualify, you would have to be an individual consumer, and if you didn't want to pay the $30 for the privilege for 1 year's extra support, you could use Windows Backup to sync your settings to the cloud or redeem 1,000 Microsoft Rewards points. We've spoken about that quite in depth on the channel. I'll leave a playlist in the end screen of this video, the end of Windows 10. It'll have all the information you would need if you'd like to play catch-up. Now, as mentioned previously, Public Interest Research Group, PRRG, was unimpressed with the announcement when Microsoft first announced the ESU Extended Support Program, and said that Microsoft's new options don't go far enough and likely won't make a dent in the up to 400 million Windows 10 PCs that can't upgrade to Windows 11. Check the video out for more info. Now, although Microsoft has given one or two so-called free options, and I say so-called because those free options require you to use a Microsoft account, which isn't everybody's so-called favorite cup of tea, what they haven't done is to commit to automatically providing longer support for Windows 10 or loosening the hardware requirements for Windows 11. Now, as I've seen in the comments on numerous occasions, and I've seen numerous reports doing the rounds online, Windows 10 that is running on so-called unsupported hardware, in most instances, can run Windows 11 without any issues. So this has led to a lot of negative feedback on Microsoft due to marketing and just basically wanting you to go out and purchase a new PC, which can also lead to increased landfills and e-waste and so on, because there are millions of devices that cannot be upgraded to Windows 11. So it is a marketing business decision. And for commercial customers, as we have spoken about previously, Microsoft wants $61 per device for the first year of the ESU. And that price will increase over subsequent years. So that will increase every year for 3 years. And because of that, I don't think too many organizations will want to pay $61 per device, and that will double every year, so to speak. And recently, Control Up released its latest Windows 11 readiness report, which found that 50% of enterprise Windows endpoints had yet to complete a migration to Windows 11, and that's a lot of computers. And we have already experienced this crossover they are talking about here, where there is a clear decline in Windows 10 usage and a corresponding increase in Windows 11 adoption. And this is very similar to what I've posted recently on StatCounter. I'll leave that video for StatCounter linked, where Windows 10 and Windows 11 now are crossing over in their market share, where Windows 11 is basically now overtaking Windows 10, which also means that a lot of those devices that cannot be upgraded are once again just going to land in the dumpster or in the landfill, as we have been chatting about. And I also think that due to the so-called softening of Microsoft's stance by implementing these free options in the ESU, maybe, and I say maybe very lightly, because Microsoft could possibly, and I say that very lightly, extend the life cycle of Windows 10, which, by the way, they have been known to do in the past, Windows XP, Windows 7, and so on. But as with Microsoft, I always say only time will tell in that regard. But as mentioned by the register, I think it's obvious that users are frustrated, especially in the times we find ourselves where I don't think everybody's got the cash to go out and buy a new Windows 11 device. And obviously there are other options to, as we have spoken about, installing Linux, Chrome OS Flex, moving on to another OS. But I think now that companies that are starting to talk out hopefully will put some pressure on Microsoft to move in that direction. And I think Microsoft has got a so-called lot of flack for this decision, and I also agree. I think it's quite ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. And as mentioned in the post, users are tired of being yanked around as the end of support looms. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. As always, I'm always interested to know what you guys think. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.